Hey there, everybody. Welcome on to this episode here of Winning Bets, where we get to talk some sports and talk some sports betting as well, coming off a weekend in which I hope you guys were able to enjoy yourself and have yourself a good time. We had an interesting weekend here in Chicago. Saturday was Earth Day, or at least it was a celebration of Earth Day. So, we try to get the kids to understand the meaning of volunteering and giving back to your community. So we signed up. Went out to the local park and did some, cleanup kind of stuff and, mulch and planting and that kind of stuff. But the weather in Chicago was wild. While we were out there for a few hours, we saw 3 different moments where it was hailing. We saw snow. And we saw bright sunshine. What a weird day in Chicago it was on Saturday. So we had a good time, though, going out to Lakeshore Park and cleaning that up. And then Sunday was another good time. We're actually getting ready for the move. I've mentioned that a couple times. Well, it's now getting close. We're actually going to finally move on into a new place, and I'm totally excited for that. So, again, I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. We got to make sure we go ahead and recap what happened last week. And then we've also got to make sure we recap what happened in the MLB overall. And then let's also make sure we go ahead and talk some soccer. And also let's get in the Yellow Course MLB action live at 11 a.m. Eastern time with myself and the Hockey Squirrel as we preview this slate of baseball. Interesting slate today. It's got some good betting angles for sure. Look to, attack them and look forward to talking about them on the payoff pitch as well. So if we go ahead and throw up that recap, though, from last week, you can see we went 16-22. And down 3.07 units, so it obviously takes a dent in what we've earned year to date, is now we're down to plus 7.49, but it is a plus 7.49, so we love that. Arbitrage year to date, putting free money in your pocket, sweat-free money. Money where you ain't got to sweat. All these other bets you talk about, man, they're sweaty as hell. Not an arbitrage bet. That is sweat-free betting both sides. And how about $523 of free money has been put in your pocket so far in 2023. Let's jump on into the notable wins and talk about some of those. How about our 2 and 3 unit plays? Yeah, you do have a losing week, but there's always good you can take out of it, right? Like we made money on Saturday. We made a good amount of money on Sunday. So we're actually coming into this week, with some steam and with some momentum, even though overall the week was a loss. Well, how about our big plays of last week? How about our 2-unit play over the weekend with Arsenal and Liverpool on the team total parlay? Obviously, Arsenal gets us started on Friday afternoon in what was probably one of the better games I've watched this season, the Premier League. That Arsenal comeback late in that second half was absolutely dramatic. That was a great game to watch, and obviously in the process, they go up over 1.5 goals. And then Liverpool taking on Forest. They made us sweat too, 0-0 at halftime. Thought, okay, here they go. They're going to get 6 goals past Leeds, and yet we ain't going to get a couple past Forest at home at Anfield. All right, they turned it up there in the second half, and they got a good 3-2 win. That was an exciting second half right there. And obviously, it felt good to obviously cash that 2-unit play. What about that 3-unit play? That was against Jose Urena there with that Phillies offense. We've talked about them on the payoff pitch now for about 2 weeks of just how that offense is ranking really high versus left and right-handed pitching. We pulled the plug on our first multi-unit bet. We didn't go 2 units. We jumped all the way up to a 3-unit bet. Hell, probably could have made that a 5-unit bet, but obviously, confidence was maybe a little bit low at that point because of how the past week had been going, but the confidence was still strong enough to see the read and go, no, this is not a 1-unit play. This is Jose Urena against a top 3 offense in the Phillies. This has to be a multi-unit play and a good 3-unit cash right there. So love that. Our 2 big plays of last week both came through for us and got us good cashes. What about Leeds and Liverpool? First half over 1.5 goals. How about a game that's got 7 goals and you're sweating your ass trying to get at least 1 goal in the first half after a half hour, 0-0. 7 goals and you're sweating. But boy, did we get some good cashes, and Liverpool was able to come through for us right there. And how about overall just the bounce back in soccer? 2 weeks it was 1-4 in soccer. Last week it was 2-4, 3 weeks it was 1-4, 2 weeks it was 2-4, and last week it was 3-1. So a very good bounce back week in soccer. Love to see that right there. How about Chris Sale going up over 15.5 outs against the Minnesota Twins at a good plus money cash, and what I still call to date is my best cash so far in this MLB season. Chris Sale had been struggling, but not as much as those Minnesota Twins have been struggling and hitting left-handers. So always try and identify a spot when a guy can succeed or fail. That was one we thought he could do a good job, and I think he struck out like 11 batters or 10 batters, went 6 deep. He was on his game and easily went over 15.5 outs in that one. What about the cash cow? I'm not talking about Mitch Keller. We've been stumbling with Mitch Keller admittedly. We have not tripped up with Zach Greinke yet. How about 5 bets with Zach Greinke this season? How about 5 cashes with Zach Greinke this season? And they're all the same bet under 1.5 walks. He even went up against this scary intimidating Angels offense, right? Ohtani and Ward and Trout. He put a damn base runner on for free. You had to earn your way on against Zach Greinke. That's what you got to do each and every single time. That guy's command is outstanding. And plus, the guy, doesn't have, like 95 to blow it by you. So he's pitching to soft contact and trying to get you to get out. So love the Zach Greinke. Guys, you got to hope that one stays around. We saw the narrative last season. So let's just hope whoever he comes up with 5 days from now, because it did cash on Saturday. So I guess we're now 3 days away from it. Let's hope that it can stay at minus 150 or better, or maybe it comes a parlay piece. If it's at minus 150 or better, it may start pulling the plug on that one and being a multi-unit play. Because that was an Angels team that actually did a pretty good job at drawing walks, and he didn't walk anybody. So love to see Zach Greinke, see if hopefully he can't keep continuing. How about the Patrick Corbin fade? That thing is alive and doing well, as the Minnesota Twins were able to walk off with him in the 5th inning, get their 3rd run. Sweaty, obviously it was a walk-off fashion, but that's fun, right? It's fun getting the walk-off wins. That's what makes this stuff fun. Love to see that right there. Patrick Corbin, actually, by his standards, a good outing. I mean, a good outing by his standards, which when you got to put that caveat by your standards, okay, now you know the kind of a caliber of player you're talking about in Patrick Corbin. So he goes over 2.5 runs there for the Minnesota Twins. How about the Tampa Bay Rays? Put in 3 bets on the Rays last week. How about 3 cashes for the Rays last week? And they were all this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They were all the same bet. F5 team total over 2.5 runs. The only thing you got to question yourself is, what are the books doing that's giving us that at plus money? I mean, I'm not complaining we're getting that at plus money, but Saturday, plus money against Dylan Cease. Oh, Dylan Cease, really scared of him. What? That you're going to strike out? In between the strikeouts, you're going to get walks and you're going to get a lot of hits and a lot of runs. Who gives a shit he's going to strike out 6 people, 7 people, 8 people? He's going to get a lot of runs in the meantime. And then we get another plus money on Sunday against Lucas Giolito. Like, that's more intimidating than Dylan Cease. He's terrible. I don't care what he did his last outing 5 days ago. This is the top 3 offense in the major leagues. This is the Tampa Bay Rays. What, have they lost like 3 games all season or whatever the hell it is? Can't be giving me that at plus money. But please do keep giving me that at plus money. I'm going to keep taking your money there, Sportsbook. Love to see those Rays coming through for us. What about our only NASCAR play? Yes, that's what the 36 over the 21 is. That's Gilliland over Harrison Burton. Love to see that right there. We got some help. But how many times have we sat in this chair and our NASCAR play has been a notable loss and we've been bitching about Bubba Wallace spinning out on lap 10 and ending his day? Yeah, we've been on the other side of that. We got some help late in that race. Noah Gragson spun Harrison Burton. He hits the inside wall, damages his nose, and he's out of the race. It was with about, I don't know, this is in stage 3. I'm not quite sure how many laps was honestly left, to be honest. I was so excited to get that cash and I know it was only one play, but I mean, it felt good to have a profitable weekend in NASCAR. And while we're on NASCAR, by the way, another bad race. Like, those drivers had no intentions of racing until, obviously the end of the stages and then stage 3. Everything else was just 2x2 racing. We're just, out here wasting everybody's time, wasting everybody's, fuel, and wasting everybody's damn money. NASCAR, what the hell they're doing, but Martinsville and Phoenix are the last 2 races of the season. Hell, they've been the 2 shittiest races this season, and that's your 2 last races of the entire season. And NASCAR's got a problem on their hands, but that's their problem, not our problem. All right, let's jump on down to the notable losses. Lance Lynn under 6.5 Ks. I think if we talk about that one too much, we may get ourselves in a bad mood on this Monday. And we don't want to get ourselves in a bad mood, but goddamn, what a bad one that was. My man gets trotted out there for another inning and gives up the first 2 batters on base, and the manager still wants to stick with him up against Trey Turner. Oh, man. Didn't see that one coming, and he gets his 6th or 7th K, I guess, on Trey Turner. Tough stuff right there. What about Drew Smiley? Oh, just your classic take an under, and you run into a guy that goes 7 innings, no-hit ball, strikes out 9 batters. I mean, just unlucky right there. Just unlucky. He was on his game against 7 innings of no-hit ball and only gave up his no-hitter because the catcher tackled him trying to field a grounder. If the catcher doesn't jump on his back and field him, he may have completed that no-hitter. Just ran up against a guy that was on it that day. That's going to happen. Goldschmidt. That one pisses me off. Losing the Goldschmidt bet pisses me off. Not because, because we lost it. The reason it pisses me off is overthought it. Should have just done Cardinals F5 team total against Madison Bumgarner. A Madison Bumgarner is no longer in Major League Baseball because he's been designated for assignment. I mean, I'm not saying I got too cute. I mean, justified it on payoff pitch. Goldschmidt hits Bumgarner and hits him hard. But maybe you should have stuck with the bread and butter of the F5 team total. So, Yeah, that one hurts right there. Stolen bases. Lost 2 stolen bases props last week. Lost it on Marte of the Mets and Springer. Both of them were plus 150 and plus 180. And maybe that's where the mistake was, right? You've got, it's hard to get on base, right? I mean, you do your job 30% of the time in Major League Baseball, and you're considered like a Hall of Fame player, right? You have a 300 average, you're a Hall of Fame player. Imagine if your job, you were 30%. Imagine how fast you'd get shit canned. But, all right, so it's 30% of the time you're going to get on base. And when you get on base, God forbid somebody else be on base, because if somebody's on second, now I can't steal second base. I think on stolen base props, you can really only take a stab if they're willing to give you, plus 400, plus 500. You do the half a unit. I know we started off hot coming out of the gate, but there's a reason why we've cooled off on the stolen base, because you just need a ton to go your goddamn way and a ton to go your way. So we'll see how many of those we play going forward. But those Marlins, boy, they tripped us up twice on Monday. Couldn't keep the Giants F5 team total under 2.5 runs, and also couldn't win the F5 run line. So Marlins were a little bit tough to us last week. Thursday was just brutal. Thursday was brutal with that under in Yankees Angels, where they put up a 5 spot in the first inning, just couldn't recover from that. If there's not a 5 spot, or maybe if they could just get 1 run in the first inning, we would have gotten the cash, but that wasn't to be. We also lost, I don't even know what else we lost. I'm trying to erase that day from my memory so bad. What else did we lose on Thursday? Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, Phillies F5 team total. One of the rare times you're going to lose that Phillies F5 team total this season. I'm not too upset about that one. Oh yeah, and then Cubs Dodgers F5 over 4. Just a classic switcheroo pitching change. Oh no, we don't want that bet anymore, but we're stuck with it. Nothing you can do about there. And then Saka and Jesus over their shots on target Friday up against Southampton. Really unfortunate. I really hate how if you take a shot and it's going on goal and it's going to go in but hits a defender, they don't get that on target. The only thing that's on target is if it touches the keeper's hands. But a blocked shot by a defender, even though it's on target, about to find the back of the net, that gets recorded as a blocked shot, not on target. Really frustrating right there. Each of those guys got 1 shot on target, and we needed 2 from each guy. Just fell a little bit short, obviously. So down on the week, still positive on the air. A lot of good to take from. Of course, last week, again, big unit plays cash. We made money on Saturday. We made money on Sunday, and we're going to make some money on this Monday. Let's talk about MLB real quick, and then we'll hop into that comment section. You can see we took a step back from the MLB after 2 profitable weeks down at the very bottom. Week 1 and week 2 was good to us. We did get tripped up last week. Obviously, if you lose money on the week, probably going to lose money in baseball, because that's where the volume of our plays come through right there. Lost our first NRFI of the year in that Rangers-Royals game, which was upsetting because the run came on and out. I mean, obviously it happens in baseball, but just tough to lose a NRFI when, they didn't get a hit and they didn't earn it per se. But otherwise, you can see right there, obviously the F5 team totals, they're sitting good right there. Batting props, pitching props are still good to us right there. You guys can see the breakdown on your screen right there. So let's hop on in that comment section, see how Monday morning is treating you guys. And then we will, I don't think I actually saw there was any soccer games today, if I recall. I mean, there are games. Yeah, nothing in Premier League, just Serie A, Atalanta, and Roma. So hop on in this comment section. Good morning, Adrian. What you got going on, man? Carmel, we're celebrating. Oh, you and Alejandro celebrating 2-year wedding anniversary. Hit that like button, everybody, for Adrian and Alejandro celebrating 2 years. Hit that like button for them. Yes, hell, I'm going to place a parlay for you tonight. Alejandro, Adrian, I'm going to place a parlay. I'll put 10, 15 bucks on it. I'll share it with you on Twitter so so you can enjoy the sweat, right? It's no fun just get notified that you won a bet. You want to enjoy the ride, enjoy the sweat. So I'll put together a little parlay for you guys, a little anniversary parlay. Damn right I'll do that. And happy anniversary to you guys. Carmel's a city with a beach. Oh, okay. I certainly had no idea. Thank you for elaborating on that. Cool. So you're just chilling by the beach, sitting back right now, just chilling? You got your pina colada already? You just chilling with your pina colada? Are you a margarita person? What do you got over there? Morning, Ross. Morning, Tim. And morning, Brian. We're going to have a great week. Love the mindset. Love it right there. I am not betting on Atalanta versus Roma. Nope. Not betting on Atalanta versus Roma. Me and Matt are in discussion. We're trying to put together between the posts later this afternoon, because there is 4 Premier League games Tuesday. I think another 4. I think there's 4 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A big midweek action for the Premier League, and obviously the biggest game is going to be Manchester City versus Arsenal. We're trying, at worst we'll do it tomorrow, but we're trying to do between the posts today. I'm moving tomorrow, so that's the holdup, right? Is I've actually got to get off at Payoff pitch and hop on over to the new house and go meet with the contractor right after a payoff pitch. So hopefully we can get in between the posts. Big week in the Premier League. Look forward to talking it down and breaking it down again. Coming off a nice little week overall in soccer. So look to keep that rolling. Otherwise, everything else is in baseball. We've got 4 bets to go ahead and give away on the payoff pitch. I've already given away one of those bets. It's your Queedy under 17.5 outs. Gave it out at plus money, already on the right side of that bet, as that bet is now fallen down to minus 110. So love that everybody agrees with me, and they're also betting the under 17.5 outs. So hang tight, guys. Let me go get ourselves a Hockey Squirrel. We'll come on back in 5 minutes, talk some nice little MLB slate today. There's some good opportunities to help you guys put some money in your pocket. So stay right there, and we'll come on back with you in 5 or so. All right, fellas, get fired up. Monday goddamn morning. Monday morning. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's get it. Hey there, everybody, my baseball enthusiasts. It's time to settle on into Monday's episode here of the Payoff Pitch, live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, powered by the great company of Bet Openly, where you win more and lose less over at Bet Openly. If you haven't gone over there and checked them out yet, you can find a link down in this video description. I'm, of course, Jason, here to break down today's slate with you guys, and, of course, I'll be joined by the Hockey Squirrel. What's going on there, Hockey Squirrel?
Hey, buddy. Been working a lot on my data model here, and um, oh, I just laid a paper down that I put all my bets on, and the table was wet, so now it's soaked. That sucks. Um, yeah, so been adjusting my totals. The money lines are really spot on with the overnight lines, so I feel really confident about that. I've been playing around a lot with the totals, though, as I said, so kind of adjusting a few things here and there. Getting some projections that I'm not sure of
Okay.
totally, so I've skipped a couple of games, but there's some things that do make a lot of sense. So, really, I've been trying to attack games now well ahead of time so that I'm not getting caught in the higher limits and missing movement. There's just not a ton of movement that happens in baseball compared to something like basketball, whether it be college or NBA. You can find an edge pretty easily in sport like basketball, where in baseball you're having to decide within maybe 5 cents, 5 or 10 cents, if you're on the right side or not, and by that time you've probably already missed the value. So
Right.
it's a tough sport, but it's still early and we're still plugging away here. So.
Plugging away. That is exactly right. I'm excited to get into today's show, break down these games. I'm also excited for rapid fire at the end. I think there's some really good leans out there to maybe go ahead and take advantage of. So yeah, coming off a nice little day yesterday, 3-1 in the MLB, cashed a 3-unit play yesterday in the MLB. Coming in this week full of momentum and steam, and looking forward to tackle today. Hey, Squirrel, forgot to tell you, and
Hey.
we'll go ahead and tell the viewing audience, no show tomorrow. The family is making the big
Oh.
move to a new spot, so we will not have a show. The movers show up at 8 a.m., so all of my focus will be moving into the new spot. So make sure you're giving us a follow on Twitter. You see that information scrolling across on the bottom. If you haven't given us a follow on Twitter, you'll need to do so because all of our cards will come out there, and obviously on hockeysquirrel.com for more of the Hockey Squirrel. So yeah, we'll miss you guys tomorrow, but obviously we'll pick it back up on Wednesday. Let's just jump on to the meat of the show here, around the bases, where you take a couple of games and break those suckers on down and give you some lanes and bets. What you got, Squirrel? How do you want to kick off this show?
Uh, well, I thought it would be cool to start with my best under and my best over in terms of projections, just to kick off the show. I thought that'd be kind of fun.
Cool.
Attack some totals as kind of what I've been doing. So I'll start with my best under in terms of a projection. I think the line is about 8 is where I bet it. This is the Houston Astros and the Tampa Bay Rays with Urquidy and Taj Bradley. I think I was looking at the stats here, and I was doing a lot of this so late last night as well, so forgive me if I'm not like super refreshed. But I have it modeled at about 6 runs, and I think the line's at 8 is where I bet it on the under. I'll give you the exact line that I got here in just a second. I took under 8.5 at -110, and I have it modeled and projected for 6. I think Taj Bradley's been pretty good. We've only seen him in 2 games, but 5 innings, giving up 5 hits and 3 runs, and the next one was 3 hits and no runs. So 3 runs over just over 10 innings, 10.1 innings, so pretty good. And Urquidy's not bad himself, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
At least I don't think so. And oh my gosh, I think Tampa Bay. If I want to say Tampa Bay was the best bullpen or best relieving bullpen, I think it was Tampa Bay when I was
Mm-hmm.
looking last night. So you can reasonably expect little to no runs from the relieving bullpen. I wouldn't say Astros are terrible either. Obviously the numbers show that it's mostly just a data model play, but that's my best projected under of the day. Will be my expectation of about 6 runs in a game where I'm getting under 8.5.
Yeah, that's a great discrepancy right there. You never get that big of one. You never get that big of a discrepancy. So love that right there. You've I assume that's just like a triple, just -110 on the under 8.5, something like that.
It was, yep, it was -110 at under 8.5. Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's
When
get a
I when
nice.
I got it, yeah. I'll check now. Yeah, looks
It
like he
already
should still be
sounds
able to get
scary,
close.
but I do agree with the numbers. I've got a bet a little bit later on that could also suggest that the game stays under. It just already feels like I'm sweating the Rays staying under a total, but I hear you.
Yeah. No,
Some of
I
those.
mean those are the kind of plays though that your average player, your average bettor won't make, and those are the ones that you know, I don't know, you're sitting there like, how many times have you sat there and gone like, oh, how could they not get over? You know, or it gets right to seven or eight, and yeah, you're probably
Yeah.
gonna be sweating. And there's a couple of those bets that I have today, especially when we get to the pitching props.
This could be one where I just pulled up a random sports book. I'm seeing the over at minus 120 and the under now at even money. So maybe even hold out. If you agree with the squirrel and you like that play, maybe you hold out and you may get a 9 at some point today. So maybe the juice is telling you maybe don't go rush and buy that. All right, let's go ahead now and flip it over to the Rockies where they're taking on the Guardians. And you guys saw yesterday where I shared out the tweet where Austin Gomber is on the mound. And Austin Gomber is 0-4 through the first 5 innings on the season. Hasn't had a winning record yet through the first 5 innings. So that's what we want to go ahead and target today. And the Guardians are coming off an outing yesterday in which they saw Jesus Luzardo there for the Miami Marlins, which is significantly better than Austin Gomber. And they hit him pretty hard, 4.1 innings pitch. In that, they got 8 hits and they were able to get 4 runs off him. So I like that. I also like when a team sees a left-hander back-to-back. You've got these right-handers that sit on the bench for long periods of time waiting to see a left-hander. And sometimes in that first appearance, they're not all that great because they're so cold from sitting on the bench. So I love it that we're getting 2 left-handers in a row. Those guys may even perform a little bit better today. But even if not, they're going to perform better just because Austin Gomber's on the mound. I mean, a 12.12 ERA, his 2.14 whip, his 356 opponent's batting average. And it's not because he's just been playing at Colorado, folks. He's given up more home runs on the road this season than he's given up at home at Coors Field. So just don't blame this all on the altitude there. All 4 opponents he's faced this season have naturally cashed their F5 team total. It's hard not to think that the Guardians will have success. So I'll be targeting them through the first 5 innings today from a team total perspective. What's another game for you, Squirrel?
Again, I don't have awfully a lot to say about this other than, it's just the largest data model projection that I have for a total, which this is what I'm talking about. It's like it's a newer model, and I have to either trust the numbers or, uh, what am I doing? And the biggest one I have, surprisingly, out of every game today is the Texas Rangers and the Cincinnati Reds, which I don't know. I mean, I would think with Evaldi it would, be a little bit lower scoring than the projection is. You have Lodolo on the other side of it, though. But with Lodolo in the relieving bullpen, I think the Reds, if I remember correctly, I think the Reds are up there in being one of the worst relieving bullpens. I think around top 5 in the relievers. Um, I have the Rangers winning the game on the money line. That's not necessarily the question, but the game to go over is a better projection for me from the number standpoint than the Rangers winning. But I have the Rangers winning on the money line. We'll get to it in rapid fire and everything. But over, let me grab you the line that I took.
Okay.
Over 8.5 minus 105 is what I got last night.
Over 8.5. All right. And
So
Rangers, they're taking on. Who the hell are they taking on?
the Reds.
Reds. Oh, yeah. Rangers, Reds. Right. You mentioned
Yeah, and
Reds.
it's Lodolo, and then I
All right.
know you look a lot more at like relieving stats and stuff, but I think they're like top 5 in terms of runs allowed, and I don't think they're very good. So that's why I have the Rangers winning as a result of bad pitching from the Reds.
Okay.
But it's just a question of how many runs do you to get. Uh, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so I think the Rangers could be a good pick there too.
All right, a little over and then a Rangers play. Like that one right there. I'm going to go ahead and target this Braves game where they're taking on the Marlins today. And I've been talking about taking Strider really through the first 3 innings and targeting the Braves come out hot. And Strider comes out hot. In this first turn through the rotation, he's awfully tough. So I'm going to do this Braves F3 run line at -110. You get Strider taking on Cabrera. Strider's had 2 shutout performances so far this season. He's just awfully strong, and obviously comes along with that a lot of Ks. Cabrera's given up multiple runs at every start this season, and these offenses are completely different ends of the spectrum. No real big surprise. The Braves rate second in the first inning, getting .95 runs per first inning, where the Marlins are 28th at .23. The second inning, the Braves are .73 runs scored, which is 4th best, where the Marlins are 23rd at .27. And in the third inning, the Braves are 10th at .68, where the Marlins are 29th at .18. You see, there's a great opportunity here for the Braves to be winning the game after the 3 innings with their ace on the mound and Strider, and that's the bet I'm going to go ahead and target is the Braves F3 run line. It's time to shut up and pitch and give these guys some pitching props on this Monday afternoon. What do you got there, Squirrel?
I'm curious on the price. I don't think I got a price on the F3 there for you.
-110.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. Comparatively to a full game where you're paying, they had that thing up to like, in some places, -280 last night for the Braves.
Oh, for the Braves
for the full game?
Woof. I mean, that should win the game. Like, that feels like an 8th inning double play piece. You know what I mean? Like, they should win the game.
They should. No, absolutely. But I have things saying, right, like the Atlanta Braves full game I have at -190, which they should win the game. But -280 is like insanity. So these things get overinflated. They do this in the NHL. They do this now in the MLB, especially with these money line sports. I'm sure it happens in the NBA. I'm not as big of a basketball guy. But these lines get really overinflated. My pitcher that I'm going to target, very unfortunately, I'm really sad to say, the dude can get 8 strikeouts still. Spencer Strider to go under 8.5. He's gotten 9 in all 3 starts that he's had. So it's crazy to see 9 all in a row. Mm-hmm. He's very tough to go against. But you're getting plus money at under 8.5, plus 112. The projection is 8. So you're expecting him to get 8. You're expecting to sweat already. But in terms of pitcher props, that's like the biggest one on the board. Otherwise, you're taking, some weird stuff like that one new kid. What was his name?
I like how the numbers are in your favor, though. Because
Tommy Henry.
Not to Tommy.
You're taking like weird stuff. But there's not enough, to me, there's not enough there to be back and stuff like Tommy Henry and all that, or this Waldichuk guy and Taj Bradley, the newer pitchers there. More about Spencer Strider. Yeah, he does put up a ton of strikeouts, and it's scary to take. But if I'm getting under with the plus money projection, that's where I'm at, is with the numbers. So I fully expect the Braves to win, and I think Spencer Strider does well. I just don't want him to get 9 strikeouts. That's all.
This could be what people are jumping on the same game parlays, right? Maybe you don't want to pay that -260 on the Braves money line. Dump in that Braves money line with Strider to have 7 Ks. Do a little same game parlay. Strider with 6 Ks. Maybe a Braves run line and Strider would have 6 Ks. Could work something in there right there with that. I think that is nice right there. I'm going to go ahead and do Nick Lodolo. He's going to go over his strikeout prop. The Rangers have a K percentage of 32.8. That is awfully high. He's been a little bit erratic, though, with his K numbers. It's 9, 12, 6, and 4. But with the Rangers striking out at 32.8%, I think this is a nice spot for him to go over. So look for Lodolo of the Cincinnati Reds to go over his strikeout prop. And then look for Jose Urquidy here of the Houston Astros to go under 17.5 outs. And hope I'm not getting too cute here. I got a little cute last week with Goldschmidt and got my ass bit on that and had a losing bet where I didn't take the F5 team total. But I like Urquidy to say under 17.5 outs. It's cashed in 3 of his 4 starts where he missed on the hook. He went the full 6th inning, so we only missed it by 1 out. The Rays just have a top offense, and they're currently top 5 versus right-handers. We know that, coming off 3 straight cashes with the Rays F5 team totals. The Rays also don't ground into double plays. They're number 1 in Major League at avoiding double play at .32 per game. That's it. Not even 1 per game. Not even half a ground double play per game. So I like that right there. And should he run into trouble, this is why I didn't do the Astros F5 team total, is, man, again, I hope I'm not getting too cute here for a bet that's really been treating me good. But the Astros, you see how many times you miss an F5 team total and then it cashes in the 6th inning I've seen that a tough. And in fact, that's one of my kind of go-to live betting strategies. If I like what the team's doing in the 5th inning, but they didn't quite hit my F5 team total, I'll immediately live bet them to get a run in the 6th inning. If this scenario were to play out today and he starts to run into a little bit trouble in the 6th inning, that pitch count starts to get up there at around 90 or so pitches, the Astros bullpen, 4th in opponent's batting average, 4th in whip, 8th in FIP, and 1st in ERA, and 3rd in BABIP. Dusty Baker will want to go to this bullpen if Urquidy starts running in trouble in that 5th and 6th inning, because his bullpen has been lights out lately. So that strength of that bullpen really gives me a lot of confidence to pull the trigger on this one. And the opponents have only cashed the F5 team total in 2 of the 4 starts, where, again, he stayed under 17.5 outs in 3 of the 4. So at plus money and a bet that's already moved in my favor, because now it's minus 110, sign me up for Urquidy, under 17.5 outs, plus money. 4th inning, we call it long shots. We like to find some dogs on the board today that can bring home a good plus money cash. Do you have any dogs today?
Yeah, if you're watching for value and you take my approach of numerical approach or value, this is your inning. You're going to get your money's worth today. Watching just for the long shots, I have 4 of them for you. They are all massive underdogs. Pretty massive underdogs. I'll start with my absolute favorite one so far. These are all ugly, by the way, but
okay.
That's what a long shot is. So I'm going to back the New York Yankees today at a plus 135. There's a lot going on here because you have the Minnesota Twins becoming a lot healthier. You have Correa in the lineup. You have Buxton in the lineup. Joey Gallo is back now, and Jorge Polanco is back and healthy. So you have some scary hitters now all of a sudden showing back up in this Minnesota Twins lineup that weren't even there in the last game. In the last game, it was me against Jason, and you ended up wearing some panties on your head because of it. It was the game that the Minnesota Twins crushed the Yankees 11-0 in the first inning. It was that Johnny Brito. He's on the mound again today. So they just saw him and crushed him like 10 days ago, and now I'm on the other side. So there is potentially some kind of, if you want to call it a revenge narrative or some kind of hopefully striving to do better. I think that's pretty hard to give up 11 runs in one inning. I don't expect that to happen again. Again, you always talk about this hitter familiarity and all that. Is it scary? Sure. But I have the game coin flip. Plus 100 each side, and I'm getting plus 135 for the Yankees today. Go ahead and take it. Let's see. Who is Oakland playing? It's not pretty, but I have the game at minus 140 for LA, and they were way too overpriced. I think they were maybe minus 220, something, minus 200. I was able to grab the Oakland Athletics at plus 180 when I believe that they should be plus 140. Waldichuk against Jose Suarez, if I remember right. Also take the over on this game. I stacked it with the over, so I feel like I have a free shot at the underdog. It's not something that we talked about. I went over at 9.5, I think. Yeah, minus 105 at 9.5 on the over. It's going to 10 right now. So if you find a 9.5, grab that and stack it with the Oakland Athletics. So it's a bit safer. That's why I try to stack things that way. But again, I have the game plus 140. I'm getting plus 180 and taking the over on closing line value. So I'm happy with that. Next, I'm rolling to Detroit Tigers on the money line. I have minus 128 for Milwaukee, and I think that was overinflated to like minus 160-ish. So I grabbed the Tigers at plus 141. Also, I did that along with the over there as well. I think that might have been 8.5 at minus 114. That was at FanDuel. Lastly, the ugliest pick on the entire board today. It's just too many points, man. I have the Braves minus 190. So that, the fair line is what you talk about. Plus 190, minus 190, and then they add the juice on. So I got plus 235. I think there was a plus 240 out there for the Miami Marlins, and I stacked it with over 7.5. So there's your entire long shot board. Yankees, Athletics, Tigers, and Marlins.
All right, I had two of those written down as my long shots. I'm going to come along with you for that Yankees at plus 135. Not a lot of stats on this one other than since 2015, the Twins are 14-36 against these New York Yankees. Yeah, Brito scares you, right? Because he did give up a 9 spot last time he faced his Twins team. But that one I just want to throw out just from like a numbers perspective, right? Sometimes we talk about hitting and pitching and all that stats. Well, there's a stat that just one team is whipping the other team's ass, right? So maybe you like the Yankees today at plus 135. I like the Tigers today as well. This one I like for more of what have you been doing for me this season. Well, the Brewers are hitting 171 versus left-handers, where the Tigers are hitting 219 versus right-handers. And that was my one loss yesterday that I had yesterday was that Tigers F5 team total. They had runners on the base every single inning against Rodriguez there of the Orioles. They just couldn't scrape across, any runs, let alone 2 runs. It was quite unfortunate. They had tons of traffic on the base. They're improving versus right-handers. This Tigers bullpen is top 5. This Brewers bullpen is bottom 10. And some of the numbers, just to highlight a couple, you get a 144 opponent's batting average for the Tigers. It's 258 for the Brewers. You get a 1.7 ERA for the Tigers. It's 5.64 for the Brewers. So massive bullpen edge here for the Tigers. The starter edge, Boyd versus Rhea. No real advantage, but where you get the advantages is in the hitting and bullpen. So I like the Tigers today at plus 135. All right, 5th inning, keep swinging. We'll give out some hitting props. Is it me or you?
It'll be me. One guy
Okay.
really stood out to me. It was Mike Trout against that Ken Waldichuk guy. I think he's been up to bat 6 times and he has 5 hits. It's pretty ridiculous. Whatever. And okay, we always say small sample size, but mostly every batter, unless they've been around for a really long time, is going to have a small sample size against any particular pitcher. Maybe max being 20 or 30 plate appearances if you've been around for a long time. But to see, a guy get up to bat 6 times and hit 5 off of somebody is pretty incredible. I didn't look last night. I wrote this down because I saw the stats of it. Of Trout versus Waldichuk, but I didn't have any lines to actually look at because they didn't open until this morning, and I didn't go back to see. The props weren't probably open till I don't know 8 a.m. or something. So
Right.
if that's something you're interested in, those batting props, then my number one guy is Mike Trout to take a look at to hit something. I don't know, singles, RBIs, whatever.
All of it. I got a total bases of minus 115. Minus 115 for his total bases prop. I had him circled on my list as well. He's actually 4 for 5 off Waddle-Chuck, but 5 for 6, 4 for 5, no real big difference. Of those
Yeah,
four,
I knew it was one off, but yeah.
yeah, of those 4 hits, it's 2 doubles and a home run. So bringing it obviously a ton of power to the plate versus this kid. And he went 3 for 4 yesterday, so he's coming in pretty hot as well. So I do agree with you. Mike Trout would be a good player today. Then you can circle back to this Guardians team, taking on this left-hander in Gomber. I think you could target Ramirez, Bell, or Rosario. Off of Gomber, they hit 600, 667, and 429 respectively. So maybe you pluck out a same-game parlay. Maybe you just pluck out one of those 3 guys. Those guys should be doing some damage today off Gomber. So I like Ramirez, Bell, and Rosario today against Gomber, and I like Mike Trout as well. If I'm doing Mike Trout, I'm doing his over 1.5 total bases 100%. 100%. That's the angle
Sure.
I'd go. So, all right, 6th inning, it's a steal. You obviously gave out some great plays already where the lines have moved, but anything else you've got today that's a steal?
I hate reusing lines or reusing games that I've already talked about, but I think my favorite play that is also most likely to win with the best value, right? You're trying to get the best of all of it. I really think it is the New York Yankees. At a plus 135, I have it as a coin flip game at plus 100. They're a tough team to beat. The batting order is tough. You look at the bullpen, even the relieving bullpen, if you exclude Brito today, right? I mean, they're really, really freaking good. So how often you find the Yankees not only at plus money, but at that much plus money at a plus 135, I just think it's way too much. I think, maybe the narrative is too strong of that 11-run first inning or whatever it was for the Twins just 10 days ago. And I think there's a little bit too much hype surrounding the return of Gallo and Polanco and having healthy Buxton and Correa and all that.
Hey, don't you talk dirty about Polanco. He had a walk-off winner for the winning bet supporters yesterday up against Patrick Corbin. You put some damn respect on Polanco's name. Jeez. He came through for us.
Hey, I'm just saying there's too much overhyping. To all of a sudden end up with close to a minus 150 for the Twins. Like, what the hell are we
Yeah.
talking about here?
It's just because
It's
the dude gave
too
up
much,
9
man.
runs. It's because the dude got lit up. This guy got lit up. I mean, he can't be any
Right,
worse.
and I'll
It
try
can't
to
be
I'll try to
worse.
take advantage of that going the other way. I'm not paying no minus 150 against the Yankees. You're nuts.
Right. Yeah, not doing that. All right, for my 6th inning, obviously I like to give you guys my NRFI of the day. I'm going to give you my NRFI of the day and my YRFI of the day. Got a little something for you guys. Let's first kick it off here with the NRFI of the day between the Cardinals and Giants. Alex Cobb, 4 starts, hasn't given up an earned run, 6 Ks and a 133 opponent's batting average. Jordan Montgomery, 4 starts, no earned runs, and a 0.77 opponent's batting average. The Cardinals are hitting the NRFI on the road every 62.5%. The Giants at home are hitting the NRFI 66.7% of the time. So Cardinals, Giants, that's your NRFI of the day. As for your YRFI, will there be a run scored in the first inning? White Sox and Blue Jays. Lance Lynn, 4 starts, 9 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 home runs. Are hitting .429 off of him in that first inning. His ERA in the first inning is 18, and he's given up runs in 3 of his 4 starts. Chris Bassett, 4 starts, 6 hits, 6 earns, 4 home runs. Dudes are hitting .333 off him in the first inning. His ERA is at 13.5, and he's given up runs in 2 of those 4 starts. I like the YRFI in White Sox Blue Jays, and I like the NRFI in Cardinals Giants. 7th inning, best bet of the day. What's your best bet today?
There's so many.
Ooh, nice.
I think maybe right now, after the line movement of while we've been talking, best bet though. It really depends on,
Cole's
in
just trying
terms
to
of like
jump on
trying
that.
to actually just win. I think the Athletics and Angels over 9.5 was pretty good. I know it's moving to 10, so seriously, if you can find a 9.5, I would really like that. The Athletics and Angels over 9.5.
All right, let's talk about that game for a second. Not that I disagree with that over whatsoever. I'm telling you guys, this Athletics is worth taking a stab at. Remember, we lost that Cubs F5 team total up against Waddlechuck in his last start. He's put together a nice start up against the Cubs team, which is, boy, go look at their numbers. They're right up there across the board, first left and right-handed hitting. I'm kind of liking the Athletics today. I know in rapid fire, that'll be my lean, Athletics money line for sure. And I do like your over as well. So
Yeah, and I
I
already
like
bet
that.
it in long shots. I did give it out to my to my members in the Discord channel and everything like that last night. And I got plus 180. I don't know what it's at now, but
I think I saw plus
um,
170 while you were talking. But yeah,
okay.
um,
Still,
I
yeah,
like it.
still worth even at 170 taking a stab, and I say that because I have it at plus or minus 140 is what it really should be. As far as my model and numbers are concerned, I don't claim to be exactly perfect on everything, but I do put a lot of work and a lot of hours into it. So I trust, especially my money lines, to be pretty close.
All right, good stuff right there for my best bet today. I do have to do a little bit of a repeat just because the card is overall pretty small today. I like your Queedy under 17.5 outs at plus money. Apparently the public agrees to me. It's now at minus 110. The over that was at minus 130 has obviously subsequently then come down to minus 120. Yeah, I mean, Dusty Baker is going to see him getting roughed up and know that he's got a top 5 bullpen. He's going to want to lean on that bullpen. So I like your Queedy under 17.5 outs at plus money. We get to a parlay today. That's what we do here in double play, 8th inning. What did you parlay together?
Well, I don't ever parlay, but I think I would have possibly like an underdog parlay, and I would throw the Yankees in there. Maybe with one of the totals that I mentioned. But I really do like the Yankees, man. I just think that that's your best value on the board. You're getting a great team at a great price. So if you're really trying to maximize something in a parlay, I would do it with the Yankees. And I won't tell you what to do. Otherwise, you could pick any of the totals that I've given out here. I like them all. So yeah, I'd throw the Yankees in a parlay and do something with that underdog.
I don't know if I would throw the Yankees in a parlay. I feel like if the Yankees win, I want to get rewarded, and they're already at plus money. I wouldn't want some dumb over under to go the
More
opposite
plus,
direction and ruin it.
more,
Huh?
more plus,
It's plus. I know
more
more.
plus
Oh,
money.
more plus money. I don't. I hate putting plus money bets in a parlay. Yeah. I want to be rewarded for
I hate
for
making
that.
parlays. I've made, hey, in the last year, right now, I have one parlay made, and it's actually in progress because it's an NHL futures bet. And I was lucky enough that the freaking Oilers came back last night. It was insane. If we have any hockey fans in here, my God, they were down 0-3 in the first period, came back and won it in overtime, 5 to
Oh
4.
wow.
It was insane. It was a great game to watch. So yeah, I have the Avalanche and the Oilers in a future parlay. That's the only parlay I've made in the last year. So that's how much I love parlays.
Well, I thought you make a lot of parlays on Bet Openly, or I thought you host them or you do stuff.
Hosting them is a lot different story than
Making them.
yeah, making them. Yeah, because I only need one out of the three to win instead of needing all three. So I do win a lot that way too. But that's a fantastic way to build your bankroll there as well. It looks a little bit scary to risk $60 to win 20 or whatever it is, but hey, when you have a 75% chance or higher of winning every single time, it builds it up pretty quick, and that's what the sports books are seeing every time you're accepting a parlay, right? Like you're like, oh, I can turn $20 into 80, but you're giving yourself maybe less than a 20% chance to actually win. So, and that's at a 3-team parlay. So you see these people doing 7, 8, 9, 10 leg
Right.
team parlays, or you're giving yourself maybe
Don't talk bad about me, damn it. Don't talk bad about me, damn it.
Well, what? I didn't say. All right.
All right, here's my parlay of the day that I want to go ahead and do. I can't get off of two guys that I think won't be racking up strikeouts today. Jose Suarez of the Angels, he's not going over 5.5 Ks. And Tommy Henry of the Diamondbacks, he's not going over 4.5 Ks. So those guys in a parlay are plus 181. Suarez under 5.5, Henry under 4.5. Suarez here, he's going up against this Athletics team that only strike out 19.7%. I love that. Suarez in 3 games has seen 4, 2, and 1 strikeouts. And he's going to make the big jump up to 6. I can't see it. It cashed in 13 of his 22 games last season. And in spring, he only got 6 Ks and 9 innings. So this is not a big strikeout guy. I don't know how he's going to make the big jump today and get 6 or more up against this Athletics team that does not strike out at 19.7%. And I'm going to parlay him with Tommy Henry of the Diamondbacks making his 2023 debut. In 2022, he stayed under this number in 6 of his 9 starts. His K per 9 is only 6.9 last year. Where are we getting these numbers from? In minor league this year, he cashed in 2 of his 4 starts, and the Royals' K percentage is at 18%. Minor leaguers in the month of April hit 271 off Henry. They scored 11 runs in 16 innings pitched. Welcome to the bigs, my fella. It's not going to treat you very well today. So give me Suarez under 5.5, Henry under 4.5, and that parlay comes in at plus 181. Let's throw these bets up on the screen, and then let's get to some rapid fire. Let's talk about all these games from a money line, run line, and over/under perspective. Squirrel, I did not get your bets unless you
That's okay. What I sent you was I sent you my best projected over, my best projected under, and my best projected underdog. So I gave out 3 today, or would have. That would have been the New York Yankees at the plus 135 price, the Houston Astros and the Rays under 8.5, I think it was, at minus 110, and the Reds. Yeah, the Rangers and the Reds.
Okay.
That was to go over 8.5. I can look, but
Okay.
Rangers, Reds, 8.5 over. Yep.
All right, let me jump into the sports book. Random one, of course, that we use for these lines for rapid fire. You guys fired up for Monday? You guys fired up for Monday? Hell yeah. I heard you guys say hell yeah. I thought that's what I heard. Okay, let's jump on into rapid fire right here. Rockies and Guardians kick it off with an over-under of 8. Rockies at plus 165. Guardians coming in at minus 195. I really like Corntrell. Kind of bagged on him last year. Kind of made fun of his name that I couldn't pronounce it worth crap. I like the Guardians run line. I mean, nothing suggests Gomber is going to keep the Rockies close through the first 5, and I like the Guardians pen. So I'm taking Guardians run line.
Okay. This is one I struggled with a little bit. I think somewhere along the way, I ended up on under in the game for some reason. I think it was more due to line movement than the actual data modeling and stuff, but I struggled a little bit with that game.
All right, here's an interesting matchup. Sale, Kremer, Red Sox, Orioles, over-under of 8. Red Sox minus 125. Orioles come in at plus 105. Both of these guys already faced the opponent. They got crushed in the same game. This is a repeat pitching performance. Obviously not 5 days later. I'd be on the F5 over. Sale's obviously gotten better. Remember that good cash we got last week. I like Sale to keep it going against an Orioles team that is struggling versus left-handers. Hell, I almost did that Orioles F5 team total under, but obviously they lit Sale up, so I didn't want to go against that. But yeah, they're hitting 187 right now versus left-handers on a good sample size of 108.5 or 105 plate appearances. I like Red Sox at minus 125. Get the job done today.
I saw the Red Sox when they opened up yesterday anyway, yesterday afternoon. I think they opened up minus 110, and that's exactly where I had them projected as minus 110, so I didn't find a lot of value there. I ended up on the over 8, I think it was. Over 8, minus 115 is what I took in that game. I left for the money lines alone.
Yeah, I'm still seeing over 8 right now. Okay, Astros and Rays over under of 8 and got that over heavily juiced at minus 120. Astros come in at plus 135. Rays come in at minus 155. I mean, I like the Rays to win the game. I mean, they just have pitching for days. They're obviously hitting the ball better than damn near everybody. So if I'm picking a winner, I'm picking the Rays. As for an over or an under, that Astros bullpen could keep. I like the under. I do like the under. I do like it.
I do too. That's where my money actually fell today, was on the under in the Houston Astros game. I had the line being 143, plus or minus 143, is where the fair line would be. So I think you've seen a little bit of money come in on the Rays to raise that line a little bit from where it opened. Mm-hmm. But still, I didn't find anything on the money line that was really inviting, so I grabbed the under in that game. With projection of about 6 runs.
Rangers and Reds over under of 8.5, minus 110 against minus 110 on that over under. So the money line is minus 115 for the Rangers, minus 105 for the Reds. I'm taking the Rangers, even though I expect them to struggle a little bit against Lodolo. Have you seen this Reds offense? Not hitting their way out of a wet paper bag? They're not doing a damn thing. They're not doing anything.
No.
They got swept by the Pirates, which give the Pirates credit. They're actually pretty damn good this season. Their numbers grade out pretty decent against, across the leagues, but Reds suck. So remember last year I think they lost 14 games in a row on the run line. Remember that was a trend last year we talked about here on the Payoff pitch. Just whoever the hell they're playing, just fade them. The Reds suck again, so I'm taking the Rangers.
I like the Rangers as well. I'm on the over, yeah. And here's a reason why I think I'm getting that projection of an over, is because it's not what I'm using isn't what has happened already, like previously this season to start the season. I'm using projections. There's a lot of different ones that you can use. Pacoda is one of them. Zips is one of them. The Bat is one of them. You can get a set of projections. They get updated all the time, and that's the thing about data modeling, is it takes an ungodly amount of hours because you're always updating your data models and trying to tweak things and make sure it's all correct. I use projections that are year long rather than historical things that have already happened, because projections average things out. So it basically factors average hitting and average batting, how these teams would do. Then you introduce ballpark factors. That's how I'm coming up with everything that I have. So it's not really how have they been doing, it's how do we expect them to do. And that's where I come up with my my projections. So I think that's where you're getting a little bit of differential between why you would think a team sucks and where my projections are at.
Oh, you can.
Sure, I'd get a completely different number if I was using, what has happened in the last, 2-3 weeks here.
Oh yeah, I remember last year. We were sitting here in July, and I remember, you can watch somebody's video instantly, and you can tell how they handicap baseball just based off the numbers they rifle off. You're like, that's a season-long average. Like, I just don't think anything that happened in April and May matters in August. Like, these teams, 162 games, the amount of ebbs and flows there are within a season. I don't know how you handicap baseball using season-long numbers. Never quite understood that. Anyways, White Sox and Blue Jays with an over-under of 9. White Sox at plus 140. Blue Jays at minus 165. I'm going over 9. I'm going to keep fading this White Sox team that can't pitch from starters. The bullpen, it all sucks. It's all just bad.
I was pretty much...
Hell, I'm on the
I was pretty much spot on with both of my numbers. I had the game about plus or minus 150 and the total at 8.5. So I didn't really find anything insane, one way or the other on it. So I have no bets in that game, but I think the numbers are spot on, pretty close in there with where they should be.
Marlins and Braves over under of 8. Marlins plus 220. Braves minus 260. Give me that Braves run line at minus 125.
Sure. I don't want to overpay. I think it's way too overinflated. I fully expect the Braves to win. This is a prime example of where I expect one team to win, but I'm not going to bet on them because there's no value there, right? If I expect the team to be minus 190 and they're actually minus 280, I look the other way because over the long haul, even if I don't win this game, if I keep making plays like that where I perceive an edge, that's where you actually win. Because suppose the Marlins do have this massive upset, and now I'm sitting on almost 2.5 units of profit.
Yeah.
In one game. So I'll take that at plus 240 or whatever, 235 for the Marlins money line.
Tigers and Brewers over under of 8.5. Tigers plus 130. Brewers minus 150. We both said we like the Tigers at plus 130. I'm sticking with that. Tigers money line.
Yeah, I got plus 141. Yeah, so sitting good there. I like that. And also, I forgot to mention on the last game, if I like the Marlins to win, I'm expecting some runs. And I took the over there, so I stacked the over on that last game, and I'll stack the over again on this game with the Detroit Milwaukee.
You stacking the over on your Yankees money line with an over under of 7.5. Twins at minus 155.
No, just the Yankees on that. Nope, I'm cool. Just the Yankees on that one. I actually have that not as a high run scored game. I think I only have 7 for that game.
All right, Brito, you're going to come out.
The total's at 7.5, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Athletics and Angels over under of 10. I like the over in this one. Athletics plus 170. Angels at minus 200. Give me an over.
Over in the Athletics. I stacked both.
Oh yeah, right. Royals and Diamondbacks over under of 10.5. Royals come in at plus 120. Diamondbacks come in at minus 140. I also like the over here, so I'm taking over 10.5.
A lot of people seem to like the over. I have it at exactly 10 almost. 9.97 is what the data model came up with, and it is 10 right now, juice to the over even at that. It was 9.5 yesterday, so if I liked it at all, I would have taken it there, but I did skip that. I have both sides of the game at about plus or minus 120. So okay. Do what you will with that. Looks like they have the Diamondbacks favored at minus 140.
Yeah, tough trying to pick a winner. I think the over is a great play in that one. I like it a lot.
Okay.
Even the F5 over is pretty big, well, obviously, because the full game's over. But that game, should have runs. All right, Cardinals and Giants with an over-under of 8. Cardinals at minus 125. Giants at plus 105. This Cardinals team ain't hitting shit this season, so I'll just take the Giants at plus money. I'll take a chance. Even though the Giants are
I didn't pick anything here, and that was because I have 8.44 as the total. So maybe roughly 8.5, and it's 8 juice to the over. So I saw nothing really valuable there. Both sides of the game I have plus or minus 105. So coin flippy type game, and the totals bang on. So I didn't take anything in these last 2 games of the day.
All right, cool. All right, fellas, we've got 7 bets here on the screen. Go ahead and lock them in. Hop on over to hockeysquirrel.com. You can find some more action over there. Remember, we will not be with you guys tomorrow. We'll resume Payoff Pitch live at Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Look forward to cashing these bets with you guys tonight. Go have a good one, fellas. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.
See you later.